you talk to old pilots, and they all have a hard time hearing.
Right.
Because they all learn how to fly without headsets. My dad actually got Bell's palsy when he was teaching in his right eye where he couldn't close it because he always flew at 7 a.m. every morning in a Stavria where he'd have the window open and the cold air blowing across his eye.
Really? Alright, I'm kind of freaked out that those don't show up as, with like, the thing underneath them.
So hit continue, it might be because the GPS maybe hasn't fully loaded.
Aviation database. So is that really, I mean, I know you really only care about the aviation database, but the optical database, since we got 2 of them, does it really matter, or?
Not really. I mean, that's an option, so. Alright, yep. So once the GPS
got it.
Stabilize or activated, I guess.
And departing runway 9 right, and runway 9 left. Notice Airman, he's caution for construction and barricades on flight school at BL West ramps. Taxiway Golf closed. Runway 9 left. 27 right center line markings are non-standard. Note that weather information available on flight service and high watch frequencies. All VFR departures provide ground control of on-course setting in degrees. On initial contact, advise the controller you have ATIS information. Charlie. Ohio State Tower, ATIS information, Charlie, 225 Zulu, wind 020 at 6, visibility 10, ceiling 12,000 broken, temperature 24, dew point 17, altimeter 3002. Visual approach, runway 9 right in use, landing and departing runway 9 right and runway 9 left.
Alright, so just straight north, 0?
No, I always go out to the west.
Okay.
The problem in the north is you have all the OSU birds up there. So we'll either use Marysville or Madison. Doesn't matter. You know, I almost recommended that you do your BFR in the Cherokee 6. Then I figured that adds too much complexity right before your check ride.
State ground, this is Skyhawk 734, uniformly met at the east ramp with information, Charlie, takeoff heading of 270.
Skyhawk 734, uniformly met, state ground, runway 9 right, taxi Alpha, cross runway 5.
Taxi to 9 right via Alpha and cross runway 5, 734 uniform Lima.
Do you have the ILS approach plate for state with you?
Yeah, it's on the back of this guy, but it's probably in this stack of papers that I keep with me constantly.
Okay. You want to fly it coming back in?
Oh, I don't know if I have the ILS. I have the...
RNF?
Yeah.
I'll taxi for a second.
Yeah, you taxi. I was going to say, I was going to hand you the sheet of papers. The notebook I have. I do have the ILS 9 right.
Alright, cool.
If you want to do that one.
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, we'll be out west, so we'll be right perfectly lined up for it, so really...
Okay, yeah, we can do it. I mean, my goggles I think are back in the thing, but I think those were in the planes. I don't know if those are yours or not.
No, they're Tom's.
I got the plane again.
Yeah, so let's do the air work first, and then we'll do emergency descent. And then from there we can go. Whatever we're closer, Marysville or Madison, we'll go in there for the landings.
Do you know if OSU has anything besides the Skyhawks and then these, the two Pipers, and then I think there's like the Cub or something too? Oh, they got the,
yeah.
They got the twin.
Yeah, so they have the 310, they have the Super Cub, and Cirrus.
So you're talking about how getting icing when you went to
Purdue?
Yeah, so were you like doing like a site visit for the school?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it worked out where my dad had just bought the Bonanza, and he had to have, for the first 6 months, you have to have half of your flights out of state. So it's a kind of a loophole in California where so you don't pay state tax.
Oh.
So I mean, you can save $30,000 by doing that.
Yeah.
So what me and my dad did was we just did a tour, and we flew to Ohio State, Purdue, Embry-Riddle, and Auburn. And it just so happened that when we were at Embry-Riddle, we did the morning tour. We were done by like 12, and it was the same day as Fun and Sun. So we just hopped over to Fun and Sun at Lake Lynn and spent the day at Fun and Sun.
Interesting.
But I really like Purdue. I like the Ohio State campus more. I had a better feeling walking around it.
I went to Purdue.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then I also went to University of Illinois for undergrad, and Purdue's campus is weird.
And you know what? It also, when I visited Ohio State, it was in March, and it was 65 degrees and sunny. So it was like the nicest day of the month. And then when I went to Purdue, it was like 35 degrees and basically snowing.
Yeah.
Within like 3 days of each other.
Yeah. It's not like a bad campus. It's just it's laid out goofy since it's kind of like in the elbow of this road, whereas like OSU is a traditional like square with a quad in the center and all that shit, whereas like Purdue definitely did not have that. And you're just like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, and West Lafayette is pretty quiet, I thought.
Yeah, well, I went to University of Illinois, and that's out in the sticks too, so there's not a whole bunch going on in those. Like, Ohio State is like the one that's actually the big city of like the Big Ten. Like Michigan, Ann Arbor.
Wisconsin is...
Madison's not huge, but it's
the capital.
Yeah, well, Columbus is too. But still, yeah, well, it's not that big. Yeah, like Penn State and College Station. I've never been there, but I don't think it's that big either.
Yeah, I've never been to Penn State.
Test car beat. Vacuum, it was good. Imps, volts. Alternator, not the battery. Oil pressure, oil temperature.
Star 14, stay tower, proceed on course on my 908. Clear for takeoff.
Do we want any specific frequency in anything?
No, just 18.8. The practice air frequency is 122.75, but it's like north of Marysville, and it's kind of from Marysville, Delaware, so we'll be south of that. We just hired a new flight instructor today.
Really?
Yeah. That guy came over from OCU. It's funny. The guy's name's Jonah. He was the first pilot I met at OSU, basically.
Flight 3, stay tower.
That's Flight 3, north ramp with Charlie, looking for a southeast departure, see where it's at.
Flight 3, roger, and that is a non-moving area, departure bridge on risk, use caution. And fly due southbound, expect on course past the tower, wind 0206, state altimeter 3003.
3003, due south.
Did you notice that the tower doesn't actually give him takeoff clearance? He says, at your own risk. Because the tower can't control non-movement areas. So they can't clear a helicopter takeoff in the non-movement area.
Interesting. Well.
Airman Flight 2, the sunset departure is no factor for you. Turn left, proceed on course.
That's Flight 3, left on course.
Let's see what he says to us. State Tower, this is Scott 734, Uniform Lima, ready for takeoff at runway 9 right.
734 Uniform Lima, State Tower, roger, and confirm you're on the 270 heading?
Yep. Yes, we're on the 270 heading. 734 Uniform Lima.
So it's 4 Uniform Lima, roger. Flight runway heading until advised, runway 9 at right, clear for takeoff.
Flight runway heading until advised, clear for takeoff, runway 9 right.
Don't forget your window.
And that's for 734 Uniform Lima.
Yes, that's for 734 Uniform Lima, sorry.
Flight 2, no traffic point in the Delta airspace for change poop.
That's Flight 3, thanks for the help, sir.
Turn left or right, your choice, proceed on course.
Left or right, our choice, proceed on course, 734 Uniform Lima.
I will do right on course. I like to wait till 1,500 feet to do the turn. Alright, we just lost our engine, what would you do?
I'd probably actually go to the left and land over there, but definitely not the impossible turn.
Okay.
Those hay bales look nice and soft.
Yeah. And then possible turn's not quite as bad if you have parallel runways. Because you'd land on the parallel.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because if you think about it, the turn on the possible turn's not really actually a 180, but more of a 270.
Yeah. I heard, and I tried to look for it, like some former like Thunderbird or somebody else who was saying, oh, you can actually do the impossible turn, and he was demonstrating it with a student, and he crashed and died.
Really?
But again, I can't find anything that says that, so I'm not really sure that that actually exists.
During my glider training, you do the impossible turn at 200 feet.
Interesting.
Which is, first time I do, I was terrified.
So did you have to do spins for your CFI training?
Yeah. I did it at 172.
Those, I did it with, well, my instructor asked him to demo them to me, and he took it up, and the first spin he tried to do, it kind of was like a lulling stall with a little bit, and he was like, that wasn't really good, that wasn't, just wasn't like hard enough of like an actual stall. Because I was like, oh, that's not really that bad. And he was like, yeah, that's not really
Skyhawks are really hard to spin.
Okay, so what he did was, really nose high, cross-controlled, and he just goes, punches the power, and it just goes, boom, and flips over, and that's when I shit my pants. Because I remember looking up and seeing the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so he did an inverted spin?
No, I mean, just the way it flipped us, because we were like already cross-controlled, and then just like wham, and we went over and straight down. So I wouldn't say it was like inverted, but he was like cross-controlled, and then he punched power, and then we flipped over.
Okay. Wow, that, yeah, because when I did my spin training in the 172, we basically forced it in the spin and forced to keep it in the spin.
I mean, I just remember all the shit from the grounds, like all the rocks and stuff, going up and hitting the screen, and then you're covered in it and everything, like.
I remember when I did my glider license, you want to make sure that you always keep all your vents closed before you start rolling down the runway. Because if not, you have the airplane towing you, blowing in dirt right into your vents.
Interesting.
Doing your glider is pretty cool, because especially just even being towed by another airplane.
I went up once, when I was between my licenses lapsed, and I was still trying to get back into it a little bit. I went up on a glider, and that was kind of cool. I was scared because the airspeeds are so low.
Oh,
I was like, I'm gonna stall. I don't want to stall. And he was like, no, you're fine. You got like good another 10 knots. And I was like, this is just too weird for me.
Yeah, I think it's a lot harder to go from power pilot to glider than it is to go from glider to power. Yeah, I did my commercial glider license in like 3.5 hours. And the only reason we were able to do it so fast was we did in the Diamond glider, I forget.
I just have like a motor in the front?
Yeah, so it's a motor glider. So we, the hardest part about your commercial glider is you have to have 10 solo cross-country flights. Every flight you do in the glider is a cross-country.
Okay.
And since we're a motor glider, we always simulate power idle. For landing. This is a precaution just in case something happens. So you always start the engine before you land.
Huh. Alright.
And then you just let it kind of windmill. And so in that time, in the 20 solo flights were 20 touch and goes. Let's climb up to 35, actually.
I know there's a guy with a grass strip somewhere along this rail to trail. I'm not sure if it's this one or if it's the one over the old railroad over there.
Is that Packer Field?
No, it's like, I think it's that thing right there. You see that the little farm? There's like the green strip in between those two fields. It's like right down here, right? So it's really skinny, and it's right off and it goes right into the edge. And then I think like he's got a hangar somewhere in like off to the east over there.
Oh yeah, it looks like there's a hangar in those trees.
It's not wide, but it's got enough. Definitely got enough length.
Oh, it's long, yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys I used to work with, well, I do work with, he told me about it. He was like, yeah, I was riding my bike along the path, and all of a sudden this plane goes and buzzes at me, and I was like, what the hell? And he's like, he goes and sees, and he's like, yeah, well, there's a runway right there.
That's hilarious. Back when my dad used to, he lived in Ada, Oklahoma. At the time he had a Champ. And he used to fly, because he was taking classes over at the airport. So he used to fly from the ranch over to the airport for class. And he said whenever he would come back, he would always have to do buzz the field to scare off all the cattle. And then would circle back and land. not want to hit a cow.
Not unless you really want to eat a whole bunch of hamburger and you don't want to fly anymore.
Oh, I know. Airplane would get a new paint job, though. If you lost your engine right now, what would you do?
Land straight ahead.
Instead of that grass field we just talked about?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a good enough judge of how much room you need to land. I mean, I'd probably land on that one over there because that's looks like there's not a whole bunch of crops on it. I feel like if it's otherwise, you're just asking to get flipped.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's like a field you want to land with the rivets, not against them. If you land against them, you'll end up on your back. You can do some clearing turns. I did the first flight with one of my commercial students today. We did his instrument rating a couple months ago. And while building time for his commercial, he's had a flat tire on landing, he's had an alt-in-air failure, and he's had, while flying solo, the pilot side stop broadcasting.
Oh, good experience.
Oh, I know. I'm like, wow, you've had 3 more emergencies than I've ever had. The worst I've ever had is like clogged PDOT tubes or flaps stuck in the down position.
75746.
Yep. Didn't that happen to you too?
I forget if it did or if it was just like we couldn't go flying because of it. Person down there needs to clean their pool, or at least it looks like it's all got some gunk in it.
Yeah, it looks night and day different than it did when I was over at Union County doing touch and goes. We had just exactly 10 miles of visibility, and it was lowering. But yeah, you can just roll out on north heading. Fine. Let's do one steep turn.
Let's do this.
Let's hold up here. Actually, here first wait. Let's slow down to 90 knots. It should be like 2,200 RPMs or so. Alright, your choice, left or right?
I'll do right first.
The right one goes fine, you can roll right into the left one.
Alright.
Alright, so we're at 30 degrees of bank right now. Deeper. But you need to be like right there.
Just steeper than I remember.
And for your commercial, we would do them another 5 degrees, even steeper. You know, we were more closer to 030. But
Lost a little bit of altitude there.
yeah, we lost most of it right at the beginning of the maneuver. Steeper. Right there. A little bit steeper.
But I don't want to lose a whole bunch of altitude.
So pull the nose back. Right there. You gained back the altitude you lost.
And we got the prop wash. Nice.
Alright, those were fine. You want to do power on stall first or power off?
You'll have to walk me through one or the other, doesn't really matter. Let's do power off. So
Okay.
I know I need to slow down.
So pull power. Here, you know, let me just demonstrate one first.
Okay.
Okay, my airplane.
Your airplane.
So power right at 15, flaps 10. Let this get set. Flaps 20. Flaps full. Power idle. The whole nose below the horizon. Yeah, you don't want to pull back on the yoke. And then bring those flaps up incrementally as we bring the nose back to the horizon. And then as the airplane starts accelerating, pull the power back. 22. Alright.
Sure.
So what we did was power 1500 RPMs.
Yep.
Carb heat out.
10 degrees.
10 degrees, 20, 30, 40. Once we have 40 power idle, just keep back pressure to maintain altitude. Once you hear the horn, nose below the horizon, full power. I don't care how much altitude it takes you to lose. I just want a good pitch down below the horizon.
And full power.
And full power. And then once you start getting airspeed again, bring nose back up to the horizon and start reducing the flaps. Alright, sorry.
No worries. That's nice.
Yeah, I really liked how the shadows are right now.
Alright, 1500. 10 degrees. Just keep adding them in.
Yep. Just go, here, I'm bump some power for a second so we don't get too slow till those flaps come in. Right rudder. And just hold back pressure. Horn, you can recover. Just start bringing those flaps up.
Not so much.
I wouldn't climb right now until we have more airspeed. So, an airplane can stall at any airspeed. That you're probably familiar with that. Have you ever seen an accelerated stall before?
No, I mean.
Okay, it's something you'll get demonstrated to you during your commercial. But since we're doing a BFR, it's not a bad idea for me to demonstrate one for you.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of an abrupt maneuver, but what I do is I'm going to put it into a 45-degree turn at 80 knots, and then yank back on the yoke, and we'll hear the SOAR warning horn. Okay.
All right.
So
that's going to freak the shit out of me.
Back Monarch 1, state tower Roger. It's now moving area, departure bridge on the risk. Proceed on course 10206, no traffic.
Medevac Monarch 1, copy all. Our on course will be 105, destination Zanesville.
Medevac 1, Roger.
Are you ready?
Yeah. So okay.
So did you see the airplane stalled at 70? We had the horn come on at 70 knots.
No. I mean, I totally got, because it was way higher than, you know, because when I stalled it was like at 40.
So I'm gonna do it one more time.
Monarch 1 at Mid and Delta airspace change to Columbus approval. See you.
Medevac Monarch 1, copy. I'll be switching shortly.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah. Like 60, 70, yeah. I mean, I got it.
Your airplane?
You have to really mess up to get it into to get it that bad. I feel like though.
Okay. Have you ever done a secondary stall before, or are you familiar with what a secondary stall is?
No, it's just like you try and recover too early and then it stalls again.
And that usually happens, especially like with power on stalls, if you just pull back up too fast.
Because you think, oh, I've got power or whatever.
So let's do a power on stall now. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna bring the power 1500 RPMs, carb out at 75 knots, go full power, no flaps. Full power, pitch up 15 degrees, carb in, and keep pitching up. More. Right about there. When you get the horn, recover. Okay, let's do that one more time, but I want you to have the angle of attack below the horizon. Nose below the horizon. So you basically just brought the nose below the horizon, and
I got what you're saying.
But I want you to actually physically have that nose below the horizon and start building up airspeed. I want you to be at like 70 knots before you bring the nose back to the horizon.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Understood. All right. Carby, 1700. 70 knots, we put in full power.
Back when both you and I got our private pilot license, it was, what, you could lose up to 100 feet?
Yeah, so I think it was always just lower the nose to the horizon and not, and just gain airspeed that way. It wasn't lower it below the horizon.
Yeah, but they were having a lot of problems where even airliners were getting into secondary stalls. Because they weren't pushing the nose down far enough and tried having minimal altitude loss. So they actually changed the dialogue, and on your check ride, all it is minimum altitude loss. So there's no standards on how much altitude to lose, or how much you're allowed to lose. Alright. Let's climb up to 5,000 feet.
I know what's coming next. Yeah, that was good. I haven't done either of those stalls or seen that accelerated stall, and it was outside my comfort range, so it's nice to see that.
That's good. Yeah, because the whole point of a BFR is to do stuff you might have never seen before, you haven't seen since your check ride.
Right.
Stuff that doesn't pop up in normal everyday flying. And let's turn southbound. You know what, actually, let's say northbound, we'll just use Marysville after the emergency descents.
Yeah, it's right over there. Wait, you want us to hold northbound, I'm sorry.
And do you know why you'd use an emergency descent?
Because there's a fire in the, well, if someplace safe to land is right below you, so you want to like stay as close to your target as possible, is what I would.
That's when you'd use a steep spiral.
Okay.
You'd use an emergency descent if you want to get to the ground as fast as possible. So reasons why you might have to do that is a sick passenger, possibly. I mean, your passenger's having a heart attack, so.
Yeah.
Another reason is a fire. In bigger airplanes, depressurization. You're doing emergency descents, and like in the citations I fly, the way we do the emergency descents is we actually turn 90 degrees and lower the nose. And the reason we turn 90 degrees is so we turn off an airway, so that because I mean with GPSs now, if there's someone on the same airway as you and you do emergency descent, you'll descend right into them. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and put the 40 degrees of flaps in now before we get above 85. And just bring the power to like 22 for now. Okay, so go power idle and pitch 85 knots.
Power idle and pitch 85.
Look at your
Yep.
PSI.
It's nice and yeah, it's 15. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more pronounced or something. I don't know.
Just wait till we do in the Bonanza. In the Bonanza,
Drops like a rock.
you can do like 4,000 feet per minute rate of descent. With those speed brakes and gear and everything. And you can recover at 3,000.
Right.
And make sure you just don't bring power in too fast and overspeed the flaps.
You guys can still keep going down.
That's fine. Just level off at 33. So give me a turn to a heading of 240.
Left 240.
And you know what, actually, just keep the turn to due south heading.
Okay.
And let's go up to 35. You know what, actually, 2-1 would be a little bit better of a heading. Sorry about that.
So you want me to shoot for 210?
Yeah, 210 is perfect. Without using the GPS, how would you determine our location?
I guess I could use VORs if I knew all their frequencies and stuff, and because I know Rosewood's over that way, Appleton's way over that way. It might be a little bit low.
And how would you use the VORs?
Yeah, I guess I don't have a map, so it really doesn't help.
But yeah, you're getting at the right idea. You could use your cross radials on the VOR.
Good descend and hit one of those water towers and see if it's got the name painted on it.
That's another thing you can do. And yeah, that's another kind of, you're getting at the right idea, is you can look for landmarks. And then use those landmarks to find them on the sectional. Just lost your engine. What are you going to do?
Pitch for 65.
So don't pitch for 65, maintain altitude, and let the airplane come to 65.
Okay.
Because by pitching at 65, all you're doing is getting rid of your momentum.
Yeah, but you're gaining altitude.
But the amount of altitude you gain isn't equal to the amount of momentum you give up.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, 65, best glide, and then look for a place to land, and try and restart the engine. So, gas, mixture.
So let's fly at 65.
Gas mixture, mags back on, crank the engine, maybe even try and shoot the primer in, full mixture, full rich. Other than that, you got me.
Did you say anything?
I said gas
Oh,
both.
sorry. I mean, you could also try switching into a left tank, see if that helps. Try on the right tank, see if that helps.
Yeah. Make sure the fuel pump's on. I don't know. I mean, there is no fuel pump in this plane, but other planes.
All right. So engine didn't come back on.
Okay. So we're just cruising on in over to Marysville. So I'm gonna. Just chilling out. And I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, I think we can make. Pretty sure we can make Marysville, so I'm gonna go on over there. I'm gonna point more at the runway end because it's long enough. So if I need to get down, I can get down.
And so we're going to an airport right now. What do we do when we go into airports?
We call them up. Marysville traffic.
Traffic.
And you're on.
Flight number 1 is 50. Southfield traffic, medevac. Command 1 mile final landing, Park 2 South.
So I would even square it out a little bit more.
Yeah. Still do 65. I got pitched pretty good. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima. We're ending at 45 to downwind for runway 9, Marysville. Alright, I'm not going to get much farther than that. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima. Turning base for runway 9, Marysville.
Will you say we're high or low?
I say we're doing pretty decent.
So, can we make our landing spot at this point?
I think so.
Alright, let's add some flaps.
Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima on final for runway 9, Marysville.
Yep, that does nothing when the engine's off.
Do you want to leave it at... well, whatever. Oh, yeah. This is going to be landing long.
Yeah, what I actually would have done in that scenario is, while you're still at 10 degrees, I would have just put it into a slip.
I was going to ask if I should do that, but then I just...
Remember, you're piloting command, so if you think that's what you should do, then do it. Always trying to show off.
Lately, we'll just run to the end and turn around.
Alright. That's the grass runway, by the way.
Yeah, I saw the yellow cones, I was like, grass.
You just don't want to land long and then hit the Vozzies.
I'm actually surprised no one else is out here.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm kind of baking a little bit.
So how'd that feel?
I felt fine, honestly. I felt... hold on, let me get off of this.
Yeah, I had you do the dead stick because when we're talking about that other airport, you're like, well, I really don't know if I can make it. So I figured, okay, well, we should dead stick into Marysville then. And that's why I had you come out of the Mercy descent a little bit early.
Marysville, traffic, this is Scott 734, inform Lima, clear of the active, Marysville.
I kind of cheated a little bit by putting Marysville right in front of you, too. Alright, just finishing your after landings. And you leave the lights as they are for now, though.
I liked, to be honest, I liked the power out just because I was set up for 65 and like just from instrument training and like really the precision, like I had it trimmed out for pretty much 65 so I didn't have to like fly the plane, and I was just kind of like monitoring stuff. I got a little fast once we started the turns. I know I hit up to like 70 and stuff, but like I've always heard like, oh, I did my best landing when I was dead stick, and I felt like
you did your best landing when you're dead stick. Because I always find that like in quasi-emergency situations, I prefer perform my best. But I mean, yeah, I was real happy with the performance right there. Do you know you can land this airplane without touching, do a whole traffic pattern in this airplane without touching the yoke?
Rudders, sure.
Rudders and doors.
Yeah, I can see that. There's so I don't know if you're familiar, but there's an airport between here and Cincinnati, and it's called Red Stewart, and they do like aerobatics and some other stuff there, and like tailwheel. But I was reading like the bio of the place, and like the guy was, flew in World War II, and he came back and he bought a Piper Cub, and he would go in and remove the yoke and land the plane from the strut, like just by using trim or something. And I was like,
yeah, you use trim to for pitch,
right? And
then the rudders and like doors, if you can, for yaw.
Yeah. And I felt like, well, the Pepper Cub A isn't going that fast, and I don't know, just some other things. I was like, okay, that's probably not too unreasonable. Sounds batshit insane, but in reality, probably not too terrible.
But I mean, some of the stories from World War II is crazy. I mean, some of those bombers that made it back with like basically no tail and.
Do you want me to do a pre-takeoff check or anything, or just?
I mean, just make sure that trim's relatively good and.
Yeah, flaps up, mixture full rich, carb heat.
Do you want to do a soft fuel takeoff?
Sure, soft field. So continue roll, yoke all the way back, 10 degrees, I want to say.
Yep. Minimal braking. You want to lift off?
Yeah, like lift off at like 55?
No, we're going to be lifting off way before 55.
Okay.
Well, we'll be off the ground by 45 knots probably. So,
okay. And then keep it in ground effect?
Yeah, so you have full aft, and then as the airplane starts to lift off, you just kind of give it a little bit and let the yoke come in a little bit to bring the nose down and put it into ground effect. And then you keep in ground effect until you get to 59 knots, which is VX, and then you climb out at 59 knots. And then you can call clear 50-foot obstacle, you go flaps up, and then accelerate to 80 knots and climb out.
Okay. 59 knots.
And then, just real quickly, let's also just brief the soft field landing, because we'll do a soft field landing coming back in.
Soft field landing, again, you want, I'm going to say full flaps. Once you get almost to touchdown, you want to add a little bit of power to keep the weight off and land on the mains. Don't touch the, pretty much take as long as possible to put the front one down.
Yeah.
And then.
When those mains touch down, I want to have the yoke all the way aft.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll try and get that. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima, taking the active runway 9, Marysville.
And then we'll do that one as a full stop, and then we'll do a short field takeoff.
Okay.
And then we'll come back in on short field, do a short field landing, but we'll purposely come in high so we can slip it down.
Okay. Alright, so yoke all the way back, use the maximum amount of the runway.
No, that's for short field. Because you don't want to use max, you want to do a nice rolling.
Right. Wow. Holy.
So forward just slightly.
Right rudder.
A little more forward. Put in ground effects.
Right, there's 60 knots.
Can you believe how fast the nose came up?
No. I was like, what the hell, we're doing a wheelie already.
So we wanted to do 59. Yeah.
Very squirrely though. A lot of P factor.
Yep.
Alright. We're definitely.
Yeah, I think the P factor is what surprises people the most the first time they do this soft field.
Yeah, holy crap.
Marysville traffic, 734 Uniform Lima, is upwind. Runway 9er will be coming back around for left traffic, runway 9er. Oh, sorry, the one other thing you want to do with both the soft and short field, your approach speed is 60 knots instead of 65.
Okay. I will. Alright, so 1900. Split up the crab because one's that way. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima on downwind runway 9er, Marysville.
Wayne County traffic, Skylane 923 on X-ray, about 8 miles to the west-northwest, inbound VOR 10 approach.
So I would go
landing
power 17. I found that power's usually between 15 and 17, works really well.
Yeah, we're way high.
Yeah. So actually, stay high, and we'll do a slip on this one.
Alright. Marysville traffic, is Scott 734 Uniform Lima on base for runway 9, Marysville. Everything's clear. Get that turned back in. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima on final for runway 9, Marysville. Alright. Lost control a little bit. Holy shit. 70 knots. Well, that was a slip to land, but it sure as shit wasn't a short field, or, yeah.
Yeah, and you could have added more flaps once you came out of the slip.
Well, that would have slowed us down, but
We were so close to the ground already that you didn't want to get unstabilized.
No, I was like, what is going on? We were really squirrely. I'll just Marysville traffic, this is Sky 734 uniform Lima, clear of the active Marysville.
You know, I had always remembered the slips being more aggressive to the side.
Well, I was probably chicken shit a little bit on the rudders, I'll be honest. I always remember them, well, yeah.
I mean, we're still doing between 1,000 and 1,500 feet per minute rate of descent.
Yeah.
So.
So after your rotor wash, wake turbulence, I just like put that in, and I found a YouTube video of someone crashing a Cirrus after Black Hawk took off.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard about that.
And it was just coming in, and then all of a sudden it pitches up, and then it cartwheels.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, and it was just like, it just looked like some genie came and flipped the plane.
Oh, I know.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm more scared of rotor wash, wake turbulence than any other wake turbulence. And you know how wake turbulence travels?
It travels out, but then if there's like a crosswind, since it's traveling out, the upwind one might actually just linger on the runway because of...
Yeah. And then, yeah, it travels out, and it also travels down. And for some reason, on my CFI check ride, I told the DP, well, the wake turbulence, the vortices travel outwards and downwards. He goes, they don't travel outwards. I go, so...
I feel like they get...
No, and they absolutely do. And I was like, well, if they're spinning like this, well, the momentum's pushing it outwards anyways. And then also, if you just look at the diagram, it's outwards. So he was like, oh, yeah, you know what, you're right. I never thought about that.
I feel like it's one of those things that, because when I did my primary training, we kind of got like used to it, and I never had an incident with it, such that I was kind of numb to it. I was like, oh, whatever, it's just wake turbulence. It's not, not that it won't affect me, but I feel like, oh, I'm far enough away. Yeah. Whereas once, like, my friend, it happened to him, I don't know if I was any more worried about it, but now I might be like, I think I'm just going to go around.
Yeah.
Just to be safe. All right, flaps. So this one is...
Yeah, here, can I just see the dispatch sheet? Hobbs was...
Nope, that's not it.
Yeah, I was about to say, that doesn't make sense.
That's someone else that stole. 2.2. So we're at an hour.
So we can come back around and do another landing here, or we can head back to state. It's up to you.
I'll do another one. I didn't really do soft field, so I'd like to do the soft field.
Okay, so we'll do a soft field here and then a short field at state.
Sure. We'll have to talk about it on the way back in.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh no, you know what? Going back to say, well, we're doing the ILS.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not a big deal. Like,
but all right.
The shortest short field I've ever done is 2,000 feet or 1,800 feet, and that scared me, and I slammed the plane down and full flaps and came to a stop as fast as possible when I still had like 600 feet of runway left.
Oh wow.
Well, I say 600 feet. I forget what it was. Okay, so.
So I'd call Unicom and I'll push that carpet back in also.
So we did soft field, now we don't want to do short field, right?
Unless you want to do the soft field again. It's up to you.
Sure, we'll just do that. So 10 degrees. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima, taking the active 9 runway, Marysville.
So on this one, we'll make sure that it's a rolling takeoff. We don't square it out. And let's put it a little exaggerating ground effect a little more.
Yeah, that was, we were 20 feet high before. Alright, so yoke all the way back. Ready for that P factor. Gee, Merry Christmas, there's...
Alright, you can let it climb now.
Sorry.
That was good though. You needed a little bit more right rudder initially. Kind of right as our mains were touching off the ground. You could have added just a tiny bit more.
Let's get the airspeed up. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima, turning crosswind, back for runway 9, Marysville. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima on downwind for runway 9, Marysville.
County traffic, Cessna 11142, turning left crosswind for 5, County traffic.
Yeah, so just remember with this one, come in 60 knots and you just add a little bit of power right at the end.
County traffic, Cessna 11142.
Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima, turning base for runway 9, Marysville. Marysville traffic, this is Scott 734 Uniform Lima, turning final for runway 9, Marysville.
I'll go power idle, get down. And you can do this as a touch and go as long as you don't land super long. Hold that nose off. Laps. Alright, good job.
What the hell I'm doing? Alright, sorry about that.
No worries.
I was like, why is the plane not accelerating? Oh, because you don't have throttle on.
Power usually helps.
As the saying goes, that's one of the power's where the money comes from and goes out the engine.
What keeps an airplane flying?
Money.
Exactly. I said that joke to somebody once, and they did not think it was funny. They just looked at me.
So are they an owner?
No, a renter. Sky's pretty cool tonight.
Yeah, galleon traffic, Cessna 1142, left base for 5, galleon traffic.
I do like the sayings of the most useless things to a pilot, like the gas back at the field, the air above you, runway behind you. I think there's another one too.
I've never heard that one before.
Really? Yeah, there's like, I want to say there's 4 of them.
There's the only time you have too much gas is when you're on fire.
Yeah.
Rather be on the ground wishing in the air than in the air wishing you're on the ground.
Yep, that one's very, very true.
IFR stands for I follow roads. There's a bunch of good sayings out there.
Still traffic, Skyhawk 12419er.
Marysville traffic, this is Skyhawk 734 Uniform Lima, departing to the east. Marysville, last call.
So you can continue your climb up to 3,000, and we can go ahead and contact Columbus now.
The field traffic, down to 6 Delta Charlie, simulated engine start. That right into Ohio State.
Here.
Got a 14, turn left, heading at a 210 vector ILS, runway 9
Yeah, the
right.
Either plane.
At Ohio State, let me know when you have their ATIS Delta. November 0 Golf here, turn right heading to 070. You're 8 miles west of a heavy southbound descending out of 11,000, caution wake turbulence.
070 heading for now, caution wake turbulence for the descending heavy 2 Tango here. Left. Scarlet 9, Scarlet 14.
Scarlet 14, say again.
Scarlet 14 heading 210 for vectors for the ILS, and we have Delta.
Scarlet 14, thank you. RJ1 Lima Sierra, turn right heading 010, descend and maintain 3,000. Brickyard 6007, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000, Brickyard 6007.
Go.
Columbus approach, this is Skyhawk 734 Uniform Lima with a request.
You say we're like 5 miles east of
Number 734 Uniform Lima, Columbus, standby. Number 734 Uniform Lima, squawk 5332, and I'll get your request in just a minute.
5332.
RJ1 Lima Sierra, turn right heading 070, the Columbus Airport's 3 o'clock, 10 miles.
This guy's working hard right now.
RJ1 Lima Sierra, off the 070, heading clear visual approach, runway 10 right, contact the tower now 132.7. Centurion 0 Golf Sierra, turn right direct to Appleton, join Victor 12.
Right turn direct Appleton, join Victor 12, see takeoff here.
Southwest 1168, turn right heading 270.
Turn heading 270, so 68.
Emirates 9251 Heavy, descend and maintain 6,000.
Send 6,000, Emirates 9251 Heavy.
November 734 Uniform Lima, say your request.
734 Uniform Lima would like the ILS 9 right back into state if possible.
November 4 Uniform Lima, roger. Number 2 for the ILS 9 right at state, turn left heading at 360, your radar contact 5 southwest of the Delaware Airport. Let me know when you have the ATIS Delta at Ohio State.
Left 360, and then we'll advise when we have the weather. Alright, 360. Vectors, looks good.
Brickyard 6007, turn left heading 150.
Left heading 150, we have the field in sight, Brickyard 6007.
Roger. November 4 Uniform Lima, say your type aircraft.
734 Uniform Lima says Cessna Skyhawk.
Thank you.
I would have told them
14
C-172
Golf.
Snipe Golf.
Skyhawk 14, affirmative.
Thank you. Brickyard 6007, descend and maintain 3000.
3000, Brickyard 6007.
Runway 90 right in use. Landing and departing runway 90 right and runway 90 left. Notice airman, use caution for construction and barricades on flight school, FBO and west ramps. Taxiway Golf closed. Runway 90 left,
Emirates 9251 Heavy, descend and maintain 3000.
Runway 90 left,
Maintain 3000, Emirates 9251 Heavy.
between sunset and sunrise.
Southwest 1168, descend and maintain 4000.
Is available for lost frequencies.
Brickyard 6007, clear visual approach runway 10 left, contact the tower 132.7.
Alright, we're clear visual approach 10 left, and we'll head over to tower, Brickyard 6007, good night.
Scarlet 14, turn left heading 180.
Left heading 180, Scarlet 14.
Information.
4 Uniform Lima, turn left heading 230.
Zulu.
Left 230, 734 Uniform Lima.
Visibility 10. Ceiling 2000 broken. Temperature 2.17. Altimeter 3001. Visual approach runway 90 right in use. Landing and departing runway 90 right and runway 90 left. Notice airman, use caution for construction and barricades on flight.
Emirates 9251 Heavy, turn right heading 230.
Taxiway
Heading 230, Emirates 9251 Heavy.
Two center right center line markings are non-standard.
Southwest 472, 2400, climbing 5
Daily.
Southwest 472, Columbus departure, radar contact, climb maintain 10,000, 10,000.
10,000, Southwest 472.
All VFR departures provide ground control with on-course heading in degrees. Let your contact advise the controller you have this information, Delta.
108.5, get that guy in.
Southwest 472, turn left heading 340.
340 heading Southwest 472.
Emirates 9251 Heavy, the Rickenbacker Airport is 1 o'clock and 8 miles.
We have the airport visual, Emirates 9251 Heavy.
Emirates 9251 Heavy, cleared visual approach, runway 5 right, contact Rickenbacker Tower 120.05.
Heard the visual 05 right, Rickenbacker 120.05, Emirates 9251 Heavy.
Southwest 472, turn left heading at 280 and contact Indy Center 120.47.
280 heading and 12047 was it for Southwest 472?
Affirmative.
Field site whenever it helps, Southwest 1168.
Southwest 1168, turn left heading at 200, descend to maintain 3000.
Turn 200 heading down 3000, Southwest 1168.
Cessna 4 Uniform Lima, turn left heading 190.
Left 190, 733 Uniform Lima.
Scarlet 14, turn left heading 170.
Turn left heading 170, Scarlet 14.
Why can I can't hear ATIS? What did you do?
You put 1217 in the active on COM 2.
Ah. That was
Ohio State Tower, information Delta 2353 Zulu.
Southwest 1168, clear visual approach runway 10 right, contact the tower 132.7.
Clear visual approach 10 right, 327 F tower.
Alright.
And let's turn this on.
Columbus approach, Skyhawk 734 Uniform Lima has Delta at state.
Cessna 4 Uniform Lima, thank you.
I didn't just turn the volume up for you, did I?
Yes sir, we have Delta.
I mean, it doesn't sound any louder to me.
Okay, good. Yeah. So someone turned the volume for the marker all the way off too. So I think that's why when we were trying to figure out
what was going on,
it was the volume up. I bet that's the guy that we're coming in behind. It's great you get to use this airplane for the check ride.
I hope so. I hope there's no gremlins in my plan.
Oh, I know. Especially because you have a flight so far out in advance.
Yeah. So do you think I should just cancel the 737 Lima Golf or whatever the hell that number is? Just cause, or leave it on? Cause like
I don't think it really matters.
Okay. Because I do have that I'm split on planes. Let's put it that way. Because I only have it I have this guy until 1, I think, and that's it.
Skyline 14 is 6 miles from Fuller. Turn left heading 120. Maintain 3,000.
If you have this guy until 1, then that's more than enough time to use
turn left heading 120.
Because you guys are most likely going to meet at like 8 a.m. Did Paul respond to your email?
I haven't checked today. I need to.
For Uniform Lima, turn left heading 180.
Left 180, 734 for Uniform Lima. 180.
They end up bringing us pretty far out.
I mean, the other guy is pretty close to.
November 0 Golf Sierra, contact Indy Center 124.45.
I'm surprised he hasn't made us do like a right 360 just to slow us, space us.
Yeah.
I guess we are.
14, maintain your best speed of Fuller, please.
He knows we're both Skyhawks coming in also.
Maintain best speed,
not exactly screaming in. When I flew with Tom was like, God, these planes are slow.
Hi, Columbus 4 Uniform Lima, would you like us to slow it down a little bit?
You're only 10 knots faster right now. You're fine. If you want to slow 10 knots, that'd be fine also.
4 Uniform Lima, roger. So they're already at 90 knots.
I mean, no.
I mean,
it's not.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, he said we have enough spacing, basically. Now, I'm going to be pissed if he makes us fly off the approach because we get too close, so.
You said.
Liar.
Alright, so.
Skyline 14, contact the highest state tower 118.8.
Straight ahead to 3,000 and 1105 is what we're looking for.
118.8, 14, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2,000. Then to turn to 3K. 2K. 2K. 3K.
Yeah, I don't know with this weather if we're going to be able to break out in time.
Great. So when you got your instrument, did you get a...
Cessna 4 Uniform Lima is 6 miles from Fuller, turn left heading 120. Maintain 3,000 established on the localizer, cleared out us from a 9er right approach.
Maintain 3,000 until still established on the localizer, cleared straight in. 734 Uniform Lima.
That was somebody else call?
Ugly.
So when I got my instrument rating.
Did you
Number 6 here, Tango, go ahead.
Did you actually have a lot of instrument time, or was it mostly hood time?
I mean, it was mostly hood, but I mean, I think I had like at least 10 or 15 hours of actual. But I mean, a lot of that also, I got a decent amount of actual experience
you don't want to land
before
at,
I knew
1 Golf 3, you want to land
what
at
actual
now,
was.
correct?
You know, because I had actual log from when I was like 10 and 11 from flights with my dad also. That,
gotcha.
I mean, it counts, it's flight time. I manipulated the controls, but it's like,
I don't know,
how much does a 10-year-old actually retain?
I'll just change your destination to AKR. You're now clear to the AKR airport direct.
What I did do, though, after I got my instrument rating, every single time I flew, I found an IFR flight plan.
Yeah, I think, because again, like, around here, it's like this, or it's winter and it's IFR, but you need icing equipment.
Yeah.
You know, in the fall, it's kind of like in between, like you really can't.
Yeah, in the fall you can get some good actual experience.
Yeah, true.
Where you don't have all the convective stuff from the summer, but the clouds aren't holding ice yet.
Yeah.
But then it's also Ohio, so you never know. You might have a snowstorm and a thunderstorm the same day out here.
We do have some kind of crappy weather.
Yeah, I just found flying in the system after I got my instrument rating did wonders for just being a proficient instrument pilot. Because then you actually get like that real world experience. Sometimes they're vectoring you in half a mile away from the final approach fix. And it's old VFR, so you can typically log it, but
Alright, 3,000 until Blur.
hopefully you got something out of the BFR today.
No, I did. It was. It's good to always do those maneuvers because I just so rarely do them. Like steep turns. Like I, for whatever reason, was thinking 30 degrees, not 45, and then 45.
Cessna 4 Uniform Lima, contact the highest State Tower 118.8.
Over to State Tower 118.8, 734 Uniform Lima. So it's good to, again, it's like I'm never, if I don't do those things, I'm always not comfortable with them. So.
Yeah. No, exactly.
State Tower, that's Scott 734 Uniform Lima, inbound with Delta on the ILS 9 right approach.
Scott 734 Uniform Lima, State Tower. You're following the Skyhawk 4 miles ahead, number 2. 1.9 right, clear to line.
Number 2, cleared to land, 734 Uniform Lima.
Think of how much easier an IFR check ride is in a Cirrus, where majority of it you fly on the autopilot.
That's cheating. That's just cheating.
And then these are your 3 standbys. But those pilots also don't know how to hand fly airplanes, so.
Yeah, a bunch of Cirrus pilots don't know crap.
My dad had a guy, he was doing a BFR in a Cirrus once, and the guy overshot final, so he just went full opposite, full rudder to correct. And my dad was like, whoa, you cannot be doing that. You're going to kill yourself if you keep doing that. So.
I mean, there was another instructor, I forget which one it was, but maybe it was Joe Mullahy, but he was like, this guy's a typical Cirrus pilot, like, he doesn't know how to fly the plane. I had to do his entire flight plan, and even then he didn't know what he was doing. He's like, he's gonna be my first student. Got it.
I'm gonna turn it back. Okay, that's better volume.
Yeah. But he was just like total typical Cirrus pilot. Wasn't all about flying the plane. Was just like turn on autopilot once I take off, and that's it. I was like.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some people, more so the old-timers, be like, if you're not learning in a tail wheel J3, you're not...
Scarlet, 14, turn right Delta, turn right on taxiway Alpha, taxi student ramp, run to the ground, 0.7.
But I mean, I kind of have that same mentality towards learning on steam gauge versus glass.
Yeah.
It's so hard to go to steam gauge after you've learned on glass.
22 for 1105. That's kind of why, well, A, because I don't have a bottomless wallet that I do need to learn on this, but also because I feel like going the other way is just like, it's cheating so much that like, serious, like turn on autopilot. You get in trouble, pull mixture, pull up a little bit, pull a chute, you're done. You know, you don't like, I don't know.
I would, if I vowed to run a checklist and do a couple things before I pull the chute.
Before he destroyed a $750,000 airplane.
I mean, insurance is going to buy me a new one either way.
That's true, but
I also won't ever own a $750,000 airplane.
all right, 1900 for 1105. Going a little fast.
Yeah. You're holding it perfectly for the majority of the approach. You just let it creep up a little bit.
$1,700 for 1105. $16 for 11. Come on, slow down. $15 for 11. $14.50 for 11.
You can go visual.
13. All right.
You always have good landings. I'm going to stop complimenting them.
This is 4 Uniform Lima, turn right at Delta, taxi east ramp, monitor ground 12 on point 7.
Off on Delta, and then monitor ground point 7, 734 Uniform Lima. That's Charlie, so we'll keep rolling.
I think that was one of the best approaches you've done.
I fishtailed a little bit, but I didn't like super overcorrect. I noticed that, I mean, towards the end we kind of like, we were a little bit right, so then I went back left, and I was a little bit too far left, and I came back. All right, we don't switch over until we're off the runway.
They just said monitor, so you could just even monitor it. Yeah, we fishtailed a little bit, but you did a really good job with your speed. You're a little bit high in your glide path. I mean, not even outside the circle ever. And then you're a little bit low, not ever outside that circle. So.
Alright, this information has been changed to Echo.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like a lot of stuff is now on autopilot, such that I'm like, my scan is kind of moving, but I'm like, everything's fine. And then, I don't know, like, it's nice that like I've come so far from you can't do anything.
I think you're definitely harder on yourself than you need to be. But, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Just set yourself to a really high standard, and then you won't get in trouble then.
Yeah.
But, I mean, realistically, I think if you took your check ride tomorrow, you would pass.
Can we exit out that way? I swear I just saw that car, like, I think I can. I mean, we need to check the plane back in, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
I swear I saw, like, that guy just go over that way.
State FBO, 734 Uniform Lima.
734 Uniform Lima, go ahead.
Yeah, 734 Uniform Lima. Could we please get a top off and push back?
Roger, top off and pushback. 734 Uniform Lima. You guys done for the day?
We are. Thank you.
All right, we'll get you put away and close at the hangar. Have a good one.
You too. I didn't see who's working at the front desk. The last time I called, the guy was just super nice like that too. It's like the nicest I've ever heard someone at an FBO.